Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is your tropical update for August 27th. We're watching not one, not two, not three, but four areas of interest. No tropical cyclones over the Atlantic at the moment, but four areas of interest. The first one located over the Western Caribbean Sea, as we can see a little bit of rotation going on in that region today, but not a lot of convection. Just something to keep an eye on over the next few days. A lot of convection in the Gulf, though. We are now watching an area of interest located over the Central Subtropical Atlantic and the North Atlantic, really. Over here, we see a decent amount of convection continuously firing and somewhat of a rotation. Let's continue to monitor that. We could see something happen there. No effect to land, regardless of its development. That area of interest we've been watching, again, very large, but it still has convection and still has a little bit of rotation. Of course, not enough to be a tropical cyclone yet, but definitely something we're going to be watching. Probably our next invest on the list right here. Storm, the system likely going to develop by the time we get to the end of this week, and we're watching the next tropical wave coming off the coast as well. Let's begin with our first one over the Caribbean Sea. National Hurricane Center is saying a 20% chance of formation over the next 5 days. Portions of Honduras and the Yucatan need to be keeping an eye on this one. Get a little unclear future as to where this storm goes. We'll keep an eye on it. I'll talk more about that once we get to the models. Central Subtropical Atlantic, like I mentioned, the middle of nowhere. 20% chance of formation in the next 5 days. We'll see what happens with it. A little bit of model support, surprisingly. You could really see it yesterday, too, but it's very scattered, mainly because it doesn't have a center yet. It's a very disorganized thing. It's not like a tropical wave, obviously. This isn't where tropical waves are at. But this is a tropical wave here. This area of interest over the Central Tropical Atlantic, the Northern, Lesser Antilles, and Virgin Islands, going to need to watch out for this one. If it takes that southern track, those islands are certainly in play. If it takes the northern track, perhaps we're out to sea with this one. Hurricane Center saying a 50% chance formation within the next 5 days. We could see a tropical depression by the middle of the week. Like I said, it's north around to Puerto Rico in about 5 days for now. So continue to monitor this one very closely, especially if you're in hurricane-prone regions down the line, potentially the Bahamas as well, and maybe even the United States way far down the line, but still something to keep an eye on here today. The tropical wave behind this one, going to follow in its footsteps. Cabo Verde, as always, knows to watch out for these types of storms this time of year. We have a 20% chance of formation within the next 5 days. Here's the impact map. As you can see, it's starting to light up, but it's still all blue, which is good. Minimal impacts expected for the Yucatan, Honduras, the Virgin Islands, Northern Lesser Antilles, as well as Cabo Verde. We'll see exactly what happens. Only 2 X's on the map because only 2 things have somewhat of a consolidated thing going on. The other one's a tropical wave that hasn't emerged yet, and the thing in the Caribbean is struggling to be a thing. So we'll continue to monitor all 4 of these storms. As you can see here, I have 5 circles drawn. Let's start with that Caribbean area of interest European model, not giving a lot of credit to it. A few models pick up on it, and a few down in the Eastern Pacific as well. We'll see exactly what happens with that one. Very strong signal here that a tropical cyclone could form. If it remains weaker, it'll be closer to the islands. If it gets stronger, it'll be further out to sea. But that doesn't mean it's going out to sea. As you can see those trajectories there, could very well see land areas in play further down the line after 7 days from now. I guess it's 7 days from now that it's north of Puerto Rico. So I apologize for that. That North Atlantic area of interest, again, a few models developing that, nothing too crazy. And that other tropical wave behind this one, the next 2 tropical waves, a little bit of model support. Again, way too early to tell if those 2 are going to have any land impacts. As we can see from the GFS, that second tropical wave behind the one we're watching doesn't even develop. Really not a great signal with just about anything. The best signal you're going to get is actually for that Caribbean storm, and that brings, in some cases, a hurricane into the Gulf of Mexico. Again, if the European's saying nothing and the GFS is saying hurricane, it's probably nothing, but it's something to keep an eye on. If the GFS is saying there's going to be a hurricane in the Gulf in a week from now, GFS also has potentially a hurricane or strong tropical storm over the Atlantic. We want to keep an eye on that one. Again, this has a little more credit to that Northern Atlantic storm developing. And then, again, the tropical waves behind it. 'Tis the season to look at all those tropical waves. So 4 areas of interest. A lot of tropical activity here. Nothing that's named, nothing that has a number, so it makes it kind of difficult to talk about because they're all just simply areas of interest at the moment. So I'm sure we'll have an invest here in the near future. I would think we would have a tropical cyclone here by the middle of next week, but we'll see. That's all for now. Chris Dixon for their Catholic Media.